It is the hottest day of 2016 so far. Good afternoon, I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. If you've been outside today, you know how hot it is. Let's send it over to Kenton for a check of the forecast.
All right, Jim and Brittany, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. On this scorcher of a day, we do have an excessive heat advisory.
Kenton, thank you very much. With record-breaking temperatures on this June 15th, everyone is feeling the heat. KOMU8's Jordan McGee went downtown to see if the heat wave is toasting Columbia businesses.
Hot is an understatement. Temperatures neared 100 degrees this afternoon, and despite today being the hottest day of the year so far, people still chose to brave the heat downtown. One local business owner says he is happy that this has become a trend.
It's been busier for us than usual, so we're kind of surprised. We were ready, to tighten our belts, and then it's kind of, business has been good, so we're happy with that.
Bacon says the busiest time of the year is typically at the start or the end of summer. The months in between usually are when his business hurts the worst. The same is true for the owner of Muse Clothing. She says her store prepares for the summer by trying to appeal to more people.
Yeah, we always have different sales. We do lots of emails and different types of giveaways. We kind of coordinate that with whatever is happening during that season.
Bacon says his store really thrives during the later hours of the day when more customers feel comfortable outside. But until the sun goes away, he says
just keep it cold, keep the blinds down, give a place for people to kind of collect themselves. It makes for a nice shopping experience.
Jordan McGee, KOMU8 News, Columbia.
Both business owners say they're optimistic about the rest of the summer, and they think the trend will continue.
With temperatures rising, veterinarians warn the heat can be dangerous for your pets. KOMU8's Lee Yang joins us with tips and advice from a vet.
Leaving pets in the car, overheating, and walking on hot pavements are all dangers for pets during a hot day. A local vet told me that many owners are aware of the animal in the car danger, but says some people don't consider the temperature of sidewalks when walking their pet. She says if you can't hold your bare hand on the pavement for 5 seconds, then it's too hot to walk your dog. This could lead to overheating, which leads to heat strokes. Heat stroke symptoms pet owners can spot in their pet are lethargic, excessive panting and drooling, stumbling, and gummed colors changing.
So a lot of people don't really think about their pets and their feet. They think that they're real calloused and they can't really feel those things, but they can.
So on days like this, I like to make sure that we keep him, in the grass or, somewhere where it's just not going to be searing his paws, because that's the primary concern that we have with him.
She says the best bet during hot days is to just keep your pet and yourself inside where it's cooler.
Money is on the mind of the Missouri State Board of Education,
which created a group to review personal finance learning standards for the first time in a decade. Missouri is one of 14 states that requires a personal finance class to graduate high school. KOMU8's Nina Maiden is here in the studio to tell us about the new group and possible curriculum changes.
Students have only been required to take 1/2 credit of personal finance courses in Missouri since the board last reviewed the issue in 2006. A new group was created to review the standards because of requests from the financial and banking industry. Finance classes are usually taught during high school, but the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education says the current standards help students understand income, credit, saving, and investing. They also say the state needs to update what students know about personal finances, though.
I don't know that we get a lot of evident clues about how students feel about personal finance at this age. Some students are forced into thinking about it because they're already budgeting and they work and they are part of their family's financial package, but most students really haven't thought much about it.
I spoke with Sarah Potter from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. She told me the world of finance and banking has dramatically changed in the last 10 years, and the state needs to ensure students have the most up-to-date education.
Here's what's happening right now. The wreckage of Egyptian Air Flight 804 has been found in the Mediterranean Sea, according to Egyptian investigators. This comes a month after the flight mysteriously crashed on a flight from Paris to Cairo. There were 66 people on board. The flight vanished and crashed after apparently not sending a distress call. The cause of the crash remains a mystery.
The body of a toddler attacked by an alligator Tuesday night has been found after a full day of searching. The boy waded into a lake at a Walt Disney World resort when a 4-foot alligator grabbed him. Officials say his father tried to fight the alligator off but couldn't. Diving and rescue teams searched by air and water and used sonar equipment to try and find the gator throughout the day. Officials say there are no swimming signs along the lake but suggest people use caution on the beach. In other Orlando news, the grand jury will decide whether or not to press charges against the Orlando club shooter's ex-wife. And FBI investigators had a news conference today where agents asked for any information on the gunman of the Orlando club shooting. Prosecutors also warned people not to make threats against those in the Muslim community because the threats would impede or distract the investigation.
Making these threats is not only wrong, in most cases, making these threats is illegal. Stop it. Any threats like this detract from what we're doing in law enforcement. We want to spend 100% of our time investigating the crime that occurred at the Pulse nightclub and the facts leading up to it. Don't distract us from what we need to be doing.
This comes days after the mass shooting at the Orlando nightclub Sunday morning. The names of 49 victims have been released, and some of the survivors have come forward with their experience on that horrible night. The California judge under fire for his light sentence of a convicted sex offender has been removed from a different sexual assault case. Judge Aaron Persky sentenced former Stanford student Brock Turner to 6 months in jail after a jury convicted him of 3 felony sexual assault charges related to the assault of a 23-year-old woman on campus. The sentence drew outrage from around the world. The district attorney called his decision to have the judge removed from the new sexual battery case a rare and carefully considered step for their office.
The World Health Organization says there's a very low risk the Rio Olympics will increase the spread of Zika virus around the world. The WHO discussed the issue at a meeting in Geneva after many foreigners said they were concerned about attending the 2016 Olympics. The Zika group says a mass gathering might accelerate the transmission of Zika, but not individual risk in that area. The United Kingdom might face tax hikes and spending slashes if British voters decide to leave the European Union next week. The head of the UK Treasury, Chancellor George Osborne, says he might need an emergency budget to cover the potential shortfall of more than $40 billion per year if Britain leaves the EU. Those in favor of leaving the EU believe it will boost the economy. After weather, what was Lance Armstrong doing in Kalamazoo, Michigan today?
And for some, diet and exercise just isn't enough. Later in the newscast, a new weight loss device that limits what stays in your stomach.
Plus, you're taking a live look at the Missouri River at Roachport on this Wednesday afternoon. It's hump day, isn't it?
It is.
It's 5:07 KOMU 8 News, first at 5. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to KOMU 8 News. You're taking a live look over the Roachport area, or actually this is Sedalia on our First Alert weather cam, and that's in Pettis County. Just a few light clouds up there. There's a lot of blue sky. Let's start off with our almanac for Columbia. 98, the high temperature, but you can see the record 96 back there. That my nice friend Tori Stepanek would love a fan now at this point. She is live at Cosmo Park in Columbia. Hey Tori, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Ken? Yeah, I could certainly use a fan, a bottle of water or something, but I'm sure they have all of that here at the Family Fun Fest. That's not going to deter people from coming out here and having the fun here in Cosmo Park here in Columbia. I am joined with Cassie Dins, who is a recreation specialist here at Columbia Parks and Rec. Can you tell us a little bit more about what people can expect from this event today?
Yeah, well, we do this event every month, but tonight definitely way hotter than last month. But yeah, we've got free waters to give out. Public Works has brought out a misting station. We'll have Kona Ice. We'll have Central Dairy ice cream available for purchase. Other food trucks and vendors, crafts and games and activities and all kinds of stuff.
All right, well, thank you so much. The event runs from 6 o'clock until 8, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so come out here and join us. For now, let's send it back into the studio.
Researchers say drinking extremely hot drinks can cause cancer.
And when we say hot, we're talking 149 degrees hot. That's hot, and that's next.
Professional cyclist Lance Armstrong made an appearance in Kalamazoo, Michigan to honor the 5 cyclists hit and killed in an accident earlier this month. Armstrong participated in a memorial ride with other members of the community to honor the victims of the accident. He also visited one of the survivors in the hospital before the ride and met with the families of those who lost their lives. The world got a chance to say a final goodbye to hockey great Gordie Howe in Detroit. His funeral was open to the public and thousands took the opportunity to pay their respects to the man known as Mr. Hockey. Howe died at the age of 88 and was well known for taking time for his fans. Hockey Hall of Famer Wayne Gretzky was a pallbearer and wore the number 99 in honor of Howe's jersey, number 9. The city of Pittsburgh celebrated the Penguins Stanley Cup victory with a parade today. Thousands of fans gathered on the streets in downtown Pittsburgh this afternoon to watch the 2016 NHL championship team. This was the 4th Stanley Cup championship for the team and the first since 2009. The Penguins defeated the San Jose Sharks 3-1 Sunday to win the hard-fought series.
300,000 Missourians currently have no health care. One group meeting in Columbia is trying to change that. That's coming up next.
The Missouri 2016 legislative session ended just over a month ago, but the Missouri Health Advocacy Alliance is already headed back to the drawing board to prepare for 2017. A 2-day conference is underway in Columbia with the goal of preparing to expand Medicaid. The group's executive director says more than 300,000 Missourians currently do not have health insurance. He also says Missourians need good health to find jobs.
That's the situation. You've got to have a good health. To get a good employment, in order to have also good employment, you need to have a good health to work, you know. So low-income people who cannot afford, they need really help, you know.
The conference will also honor the director of Missouri Medicaid with a Lifetime Achievement Award. There's evidence drinking extremely hot beverages like coffee and tea might increase your risk for cancer. The International Agency for Research on Cancer says drinking beverages at temperatures higher than 149 degrees can lead to esophageal cancer. That's because the hot temperatures can scald the esophagus. The agency found the cancer is much less likely, if you drink slightly cooler beverages. The FDA approved a new device to treat obesity. It's a manual pump that drains food out of your stomach. Surgeons insert a tube in the stomach through a small incision. The tube is then connected to a valve in the stomach, and after meals, patients open up the valve and it drains stomach contents into the toilet. The device is available to overweight patients 22 years of age and older who have not had success with diet and exercise.
Dogs do the craziest things, like getting into things they shouldn't get into. That's coming up.
Welcome back to a record-breaking day. Temperatures right now about some of us still for today, but for almost all of us from noon to 7 tomorrow.
Here's a look at what we're following for KOMU 8 News at 6. One county in Missouri is trying to fight summer hunger by offering free lunch for kids.
And a young girl with close community ties is cancer-free. More on Ryan's recovery on KOMU 8 News at 6. Dogs will eat just about anything. A 6-month-old Weimaraner by the name of Lake got a hold of Gorilla Glue, which expands, and so that means when the glue got in her stomach, it expanded and filled her stomach to the point vets had to surgically remove it. There it is. Despite the surgery, her family says she is back to her crazy self and eating virtually everything again.
I don't think that's a good idea. I think maybe ice cubes, maybe on a hot day like this.
Yeah, but I guess if you have Gorilla Glue and you eat ice cubes, it's just going to make the problem worse.
98 today, Kenton, right?
98, Jim.
Tomorrow?
98, but feeling like 105.
That's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great night.